Hello and welcome to Whisky Wims with me, Stuart. I'm not sure if this has completely worked or not, but it's my first time doing a live, so I'm a little bit nervous and a little bit jittery, but hopefully my guest, Stevie, can also share with the nerves and hopefully he can calm me down. So we've got two samples. We have an A sent to me by Stevie and a B sent to me by Stevie. And I have also sent him an A and a B as well. So we're going to blind taste them. We're going to drink the drams together and see if we can figure out what the flavours are. And hopefully, I doubt we'll be able to figure out what bottles they are because we do know each other's collection quite well. But hopefully, we can figure out some of the flavours. So I'll bring in Stevie and you can all give him a warm welcome.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm just as nervous as you are, but
I know I'm shaking, but it's hopefully we won't embarrass ourselves too much.
Who chose the theme tune, by the way?
That was me. A lot of people don't like it, to be honest. No, I get it. I've had a few things saying it's not bad, but I don't know. I think I need a theme tune. I need an intro. So yeah. So do you want to tell people a little bit about you, a little bit about your whiskey journey, drinking journey, if you will?
Well, I can tell you. Actually, my whiskey journey began with not being able to stand the stuff at all. When I was younger, my brother and my uncle, who eventually did get me into it, were drinking it, and I could never get into it at all. And then I got into it by accident. And when I say by accident, my dad had it was a Signatory vintage bottle. It was a red velvet box, and it was a blend of 100 malts, and it had a scroll in it naming all the malts that went into it, and they were quite old malts.
Right.
And my mum was doing the dusting and knocked it over. And it started to spill out. And because it started to spill out, that was it, open. And that was the first whiskey I ever tasted where I went, maybe there is something to this.
Yeah. Maybe
that was caused by an accident, but that's my very first one. I still remember it to this day.
So was there any memorable malts from your journey so far? Anything notable that you think's maybe been the best whiskey you've had, or possibly your most favourite whiskey or something like
that? Yeah, it's quite a difficult one. Somebody once said to me that the answer to that question, what's your favourite whiskey, is what I'm drinking just now. And that is quite often the case. But I've been lucky enough to have, and I'm just looking up. I used to have a 1980 Dalmore.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely sublime. And I know Dalmore do the colouring and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, the spirit in this stuff was just fantastic. And at the same time, I had around about the same time, I had a 33-year-old Glendronach.
Yeah.
Long before they started releasing all the limited bottlings and stuff like that.
Because that's probably the 33-year-old Glendronach is probably my favourite from.
I'm going to say, I think you had that.
From memory, that's one of those whiskies that's always stuck with me. And if I could buy one, I probably would. But they're just so expensive at the moment. So that's probably one of my favourite that I've had, and it's definitely stuck with me for so long. And you're the one that introduced me to it.
The only whiskey I could never take to was Islay whiskey, and eventually, I think it was one Christmas. I think I was at my dad's, and my uncle was visiting, and they used to always get whiskey for Christmas.
Yeah.
So my dad had got Ardbeg Lord of the Isles, and my uncle had got a 1977 Ardbeg.
Geez, there's some pricey whiskies now.
Yeah. And the 1977 won it over the Lord of the Isles for me. It was the first time I'd ever tasted a whiskey where you drank it, you got all the flavour, the explosion of flavour, and then absolutely no feeling of it going down at all. It just disappeared at the back of your, and that started me, from that point on, I started to pay a bit more attention to Islys as well.
So no alcohol burn, basically, smooth on the way down, and that's where the kind of passion for Islay.
Oh, it was well, that's where I realised that. I think your taste changes over a year or so. Things I've tasted a couple of years ago, and they sit on the shelf, and then you go back a couple of years later and say, "Oh, try this again," and it changes. So
yeah, because obviously, like you're saying, Ardbeg was the kind of first whiskey or first Islay whiskey that opened you up to Islay whiskies. Does that mean that Ardbeg holds a special place in your heart, therefore?
Well, it kind of does for a couple of reasons. In fact, it doesn't really for that reason. It does now because I was lucky enough to be taken over there 3-4 years ago with one of our friends, and we stayed at Ardbeg Cottage. And I've been back a couple of times since then, and that really started my love affair with Ardbeg. And I've got, I think I've got 13 different bottles of Ardbeg. Yeah, in my collection.
So that leads me on to one last question before we get down to the.
Yeah, come on, I'm thirsty.
The last question is: do you have a favourite distillery?
I do have favourite distilleries, and it changes. So last year for me, two distilleries that I fell in love with last year was Glenglassaugh and Fettercairn.
Right.
So that was last year. This year, my very latest one. This year, well, one was a surprise for me because I've never spent a lot of time bothering about foreign whiskey, but I tried Paul John. In fact, I think you were with me actually.
Yeah.
So, and I've yet to try a Paul John that isn't good. So, in fact, there's a couple of bottles there. So, Paul John is one of my favourites this year. My real big surprise and favourite this year is Bladnoch. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just going to have a look at the chat and see who's all in, see if we can catch up. So we've got Matt. Matt's been in from the very beginning because he's sitting in a hotel in Norway, I believe, doing bugger all. So he's here.
Nice.
We've got Steve, Whiskey Breyer. We also have Jim from Whiskey Novice. We have Bishop Burn Boy. I don't believe I know of him. We've got Lee Hosey from Haddington Whiskey. We've got Frederick from Whiskey Pilgrim, Jimmy Jazz, and Kresimir, who is from Croatia.
Cool.
So we've got quite a mix of people. We've got Bart as well. He's from the Netherlands.
You mentioned Whiskey Brewers.
Yes.
Yeah. They can hear me talking, obviously. I've not forgotten. I've got these two bottles. I was waiting on you giving me a couple of small bottles, and I'm going to send them over. Oh, what was it now?
Was it Ardbeg?
No. I'll go back on but I owe them 2 samples. I said I would send over, so I'll get that done.
We also have Tony Evans and someone from the works just popped in, Mark Russell, really nice guy. We've got him in as well. So we've got quite a few people. It's 14 watching. It's not too bad. I reckon it's time to get down to the.
We should maybe get some drinking done then.
So what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with your samples or my samples?
It's your show, so
let's start with my samples then. And I'd say we'll try sample B first. Yeah.
Of what you gave?
Yeah, what I gave you.
Okay.
So I've got B here.
Yeah. I've had mine. This has been sitting out for about half an hour just to give it a time to breathe. So I meant to ask you, have I had these samples before? Have I tasted these before? at some point.
You've had both of them before, yeah.
Oh, you are so miserable. I actually opened a new bottle for one of yours.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God. I don't open new bottles. You should know that.
I know, you're tight. Right, this is okay. So, and
What are you getting?
Just to be clear, I'm not into trying to promote to people, you should taste this, you should taste that. So for me, it's all about what I get, and if that's totally off the book, I don't care. It's my experience. So for this one, initially I get really creamy custard. So it's quite sweet on the nose. I get creamy custard.
Right.
Then there's a
Is that the dogs barking out the back?
it could be. I get there's a sort of green apple there, but I would say because of the sweetness, it's almost like a sort of toffee apple. So that's what I get on the nose, and now I'm going to taste because we've been talking a wee bit.
Well, yeah, I'd probably agree with apple. I think I've got green apple there. I think there's definitely a sweetness about it. Toffee's a good shout. Caramel, anything like that. Really, I think it's quite subtle on the nose. I don't think there's a lot really going on in the nose. I think it's quite not flat, but I don't think there's a lot going on in the nose. There's nothing.
Yeah, the sort of creamy vanilla is the sort of overarching, but then it definitely does go a bit more like crystallized sugar, toffee, and apple.
Sort of like tablet.
Yeah.
What about the palate? What are you getting on the palate in this one? That's Matt just said it's a Blair Athol. It's not a Blair Athol, Matt.
There's a slight pepperiness at the back of it.
Right.
For me.
See, I'm not sure if that's the wood influence on it or not, because I think this one towards the end can be quite woody. Maybe okay in a sense, maybe the tannins.
Yeah, it's quite a pleasant dram. The finish is medium-ish, I would say. Lingering, the finish for me again is the creaminess, the toffee, but then what lingers longer is that slight bitter note. I'm not sure where that's coming from the wood or not. How old is it?
You'll need to guess. It's a blind sample. You'll need to guess. Have a little guess. It's not Daft Mill either.
I never said a word.
No, it's Bishop on Boy. He's I kind of wish I knew his name. I don't want to keep calling him Boy. Yeah, it's not Daft Mill. If you can, what about ABV or finish or type kind of maturation?
I would say, I'm guessing it's around about 46%.
Right.
Age-wise, the legs are quite long on it.
Can't really see much on that webcam.
Is it between 12 and 16?
It's older. It's a lot. It's a bit older, yeah.
I underestimated you, didn't I? Normally give me a good whiskey.
I
was trying to think what crap's he got on his lower shelves that he would give me for his tastings.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised you didn't say Springbank then. No, I didn't send you a Springbank. Jim's just said I should have sent you a Springbank, but I know I feel like you were warm into the Springbank 15 rum wood. You kind of enjoyed that a little bit. The local barley 10, the last time I gave you didn't mind it too much, but I don't think you're big on
I really struggle with the Campbelltowns.
It might be the sulfuric side to things that
I don't know whether just the flavour's not intense enough for me, or there was one I tried at the Larbert thing last year. Remember, it wasn't out yet; it was coming out. It was a 13-year-old or...
Oh, so that was the Kilkerran 8-year-old, the sherried edition, the new sherry one.
Yeah, that was the first time where I had one and I went, okay. Maybe I just need to try a few more. But yeah, for me, the Campbelltowns, I struggle a bit with them.
So what about maturation or finish on this, Stevie? I think it's quite hard. I don't think it's got a lot of the influence from the cask or what they've done in it in what they've matured it in. There's Mark, Hiya Whiskey Bond. I don't think there's enough.
It's quite delicate. I actually quite like it. There isn't an overpowering influence there. It's like the nose. There is a nose there. It's subtle. It's pleasant. It's not. And the same with the taste. If I was to hazard a guess at the finish, and I'm not fantastic at this, I would probably hazard a guess at bourbon.
Right. So it's ex-bourbon and it's port pipes. It's been matured and probably the majority of it's been matured in ex-bourbon, and I reckon it's not spent enough time in the port pipes because I don't get a lot of port from this. There's not any characteristics to go with it. I don't feel.
Yeah, and it hasn't really picked up any. Usually a port finish, there's a bit of pink there, but not in that.
You're going to kick yourself. Well, not kick yourself, but you'll know as soon as I say this. In fact, I'll say the ABV first. It's 40%, so it's not 46. It's 40% ABV.
Oh, it's got quite a wee bite to it then for a 40.
I don't know if I'm drinking too high ABV whiskies because this just slides down for me. There's not much gripping in the sense of like a bite. It's port. It's 40% and it's 21-year-old.
No, it's not that Balvenie, is it?
It is. It's the Balvenie 21-year-old Portwood. There's something quite interesting that I found when researching this is that the normal release is 40%, whereas the travel retail is 47.6%, which is non-chill filtered. Whereas this has obviously been chill filtered to its life to 40% or added water. So it's a bit of a surprise that they do the travel retail non-chill filter because usually it's the other way about. Usually they give the travel market the kind of lower ABV whiskey.
This is what's quite interesting about whiskey. I should have got that because it's one of my favourites of what you've got.
We have had it a few times recently as well.
I had some pasta and garlic bread earlier on, but it was a different experience for me, much more subtle, and I was getting a bitter note towards the end. So, definitely, I wouldn't have.
Because I remember when we had it a couple of weeks back before obviously all this quarantine and isolation. I remember you had it and you said it was not even like whiskey; it just went down.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but to get to the bottom, I downed the end of it. And as you say, nothing down there at all. Really smooth. I'm gonna cleanse.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed pretty much this bottle from start to middle. I feel like the lower it's got now, the less is coming from it. I think initially it was really pungent, quite a strong whiskey. I don't know if it's just because it's 40% and the more air's got in and maybe it needs to be canted, but I feel like something's like left from it. But it's a good whiskey. It's a solid whiskey.
I would like to try. I would like to try the Madeira one.
Oh yeah, I do like the sound of the Madeira one.
I've got a couple of Balvenis, and I bought one of the sweet toast of American oak. And a couple of times I've had Balvenis, I've been quite disappointed with them. So I've never really. That one you just gave me there is the first one where I went, okay.
Yeah, it's not something that I'd really buy into as much as Balvenie. There's just a comment here what Bart's saying, and I completely agree with him. So he said, "For the life of me, I can't think of a more disrespectful thing to do to 21 years of maturation and bottling at 40% ABV. Aside from picking it into boot." It's a bit of a shame. I don't understand why they've put the travel retail as 47.6 and then this one is 40%. I reckon it would have been a lot better whiskey at 47.6%. You might have got
I know a lot of people sort of go on about the ABV and stuff. I'm not as I don't focus on it as much as what some people do, and that's just me. I've had whiskey that's a higher ABV that I've thought was lower, and I've had whiskies where it's a lower ABV where I thought it was higher. So, yeah, I've never really sort of analysed it and thought I won't buy a whiskey that's under 46.
See, that's where I've got to that point where I'm trying not to buy anything under 46, and I'm kind of trying to buy higher ABV whiskies because I do think you get more from it. Dogs just pattered through, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm trying to get more.
Anyway, you plan on actually drinking your whiskey that I sent you?
Right, let's do it. What are we going for first, B or A? So Bravo or Alpha?
You should go for the lighter one.
Right.
And just so that you're not drinking it alone, because that would be rude. That's the same stuff.
So I think this one is
a new bottle. This is a new bottle. So
it's a new bottle.
Yeah. Well, it's not new. It's a first open.
Oh, is it? See, I thought I knew what this was.
The only way I think you would know is if you had tried it at a distillery. Oh, big long silence there. We need something for the interludes. We need like a dancer or something.
I'm just trying to think what this could be, because I had it pinned down as something completely. I thought it was something that you'd already opened, and I had it as something in my head basically that I thought it was.
Do you get banana from it?
So I think the nose is very subtle. I'm struggling on the nose.
I find it quite strong banana.
I think it's bourbon matured. I initially thought it was lowland, but now you've thrown me off by saying it's not been opened yet, and you've not really got a lot of lowlands.
I'll try. Hang on, I'm going to try and. I actually forgot to look at the cask finish. Oh, geez, I can't even read it in this light.
I think bourbon and wine. I think there's some wine influence there, but not sherry.
What ABV do you think it is?
So
and this is a good example where I think I wouldn't have said this.
So I don't think there's much nip on the nose or anything like that. And the palate wise, I think it's probably about 46 or lower. I don't think it's quite high at ABV.
Right.
What I get is
this kind of proves my point. I think about that's actually 50%.
This is just on the nose. I'd say low. On the nose, I get like a light fruit fragrance, a winey scent, some like white vinegar, but I still think it's a very soft nose. I'm not really getting banana. Possibly.
Yeah, don't force it. It's fine. It's just whatever you get.
But there's definitely, like, there is a fruit. Mark's just changing a nappy at the moment. Yeah, there's definitely...
Shit, I nearly went for the wrong one.
Fruitiness there. So Tony's wanting a great colour pop, drop of water for us to see. Right, so let's try a wee drop of water in it. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it.
It's extremely pale.
Can't see it very well. It is very pale. Well, that has opened it up a little bit more, but I kind of ripe.
Any idea where you think it's from?
I want to say Lowland. I don't know what distillery. I want to say Lowland. It's got to be Lowland or Speyside. But it's thrown me off because initially I thought it was a Bladnoch Samsara, just with the notes that I was getting.
And I purposely opened the new one because I thought, it needs to be something to challenge a wee bit. So I'm actually quite surprised. I've had it for a wee while. I think I've had it for a couple of years.
Is it barley? Is it a malt?
Yeah. Follow the barley theme. There's a clue in that.
It's a little peppery, some soft fruit present. There is like that milled barley flavour you get, or when they take you through the distillery and they show you the mill and then the grist and all that, and it's that powdery with the flour, the grist, and the whatever.
Who focuses some of their product in small scale on a specific barley?
Well, I know, is it Bruichladdich? I think Bruichladdich do it. Is it a Bruichladdich? I think there's
what about age-wise first before I show you?
Age-wise, I've not got it down as older than like 12. Got it down as quite young. I've got a nice mouthfeel with some sweet and sour towards the end. There's like grapefruit.
I mean, to be fair, you're actually saying some of the things that are on the tin. It's a Bruichladdich beer barley.
2008. Did that?
Well, it'll be. It can't even be 12 because I've had it a couple of years. So I'm guessing. I'll see if it says when it was bottled. So it was highly grown. It was barley from the Dunlosset estate.
Yeah,
it's part of the Provenance series.
On the finish, it's like I've got down here a bit of dryness that you'd get from wine, some wood presence, a little spiciness from pepper.
But you're right. You definitely get the malty barley from it.
I mean, I'd never have said it was an Islay because it's it's quite hard not knowing it's peated or when it's not peated. And I'm not really too clued up on Bruichladdich. I've got one Bruichladdich, but it's like 60-odd%, so it's something a little different. So this is 50%.
Yeah, it says it's a beer barley. It says it produces a low yield of tough grain. And initially, when they used it, the tough grist, the dense grist, was inclined to break their older equipment when they first tried to mash it. But I think it's interesting because you hit the nail on the head. You said you mentioned barley, which is why I said stick with that. But yeah, there's a dusty, chalky barley. Which usually gets lost in a whiskey. So I think it's quite a nice change.
I saw a great post by Old Pulteney. I think it was on their Instagram, and it showed the different stages of barley from the field, and then grist, and then it showed it when it was like flour and the middle and whatever else it is. But it was a really nice post, quite cool. And that's what got me thinking that it was like that when they bring it out and it's in like a little tub and they say smell it and rub it on your hands and all that good stuff. That's what it reminded me of. It's nice. It's pleasant, but I would have pinned it down for. I have got down here 46% bourbon / wine, and I've got Lowland. So I'm not sure if that's some sort of giveaway. If it's like Bruichladdich got a Lowland kind of technique to it or a Lowland style, but I've not spent a lot of time with Bruichladdich.
I think normally I would think that for my flavour profile, normally I would think maybe that's a bit not enough there in terms of flavour for me. But actually, what I like about it is that the very base and key product of whiskey, the malted barley, is at the front of that drink. And I like that. And the aftertaste is old, musty, dusty barley. I like it. Yeah,
I've definitely enjoyed it. I think it's something different, something that I've not had really. Like I said, I've not had a lot of Bruichladdich. I've had Octomore. I like the Octomore because it's peated, and I've got that cask strength.
So what nonsense have you given me for Plan A, Blind A?
So
here we go.
Bart's just said this with the regards to the Bruichladdich. So very voluptuous and bittersweet wine note. So I did get a bitterness, a kind of grapefruit. I felt like there was juicy oranges in there as well. And yeah, I thought it was winey. So I felt like it was done in ex-bourbon and also wine. And that's what kind of made me think it was that Bladnoch Samsara, because I think that's been done in wine.
Yeah, but it's much more tropical fruit.
Yeah, it is. The tropical fruit was missing. There's John in. Hello, John. How's it going?
Is that John Blythe?
It is John Blythe, yeah.
Welcome aboard.
So we've got my A sample, I believe. Now,
yes,
you can add water to this if you like. Stevie's right, very natural product, straightforward. Yep. And Jim is saying Springbank 10. What else? No, I didn't send him the Springbank 10.
He would do that. He would do that just to be nasty.
Yeah, Stevie is not a fan of Springbank, which is a shame. They have so much to offer. So
I've desperately tried to like it. I mean, I a number of years ago, in fact, I've still got it. That must be 15 odd years ago. The company I worked for, we had the same insurance broker as Springbank, and the guy from the insurance company took us down, and we got a whole day there tour. They took us out for lunch. They took us to the tasting rooms and all that sort of stuff. It was a great experience, and of course, going back with you as well. I've desperately tried to like it, but and maybe one day it will come, but it's not today.
So, what do you get in the nose from this then? I suppose starting with region, probably, if you can figure out the region as well.
First, to be honest, I get a bit of nail varnish wet paint.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I'm in the complete opposite. Like this is fruity to me. There's pineapple.
Yeah, then after that initial hit, I would say there's a sort of, I would describe as a spicy lemon zest smell.
Right. Yeah, I'd say there's definitely something citrusy. I get a lot of like tropical fruits. Like I said, pineapple, maybe possibly pear. There's banana. Oh, I just love this one.
It's quite bizarre because do you want me to tell you what the other smell I get from the nose?
Yeah.
Say if you've had a bag of chips with a chip shop.
Right.
In the brown paper.
Yeah.
Finish your chips and there's a smell of the salt and vinegar.
Yeah.
That's you. I get that as well.
you're getting a real vinegary, like you said, varnish. So you're getting
Yeah.
quite a spirit to kind of take from this.
Yep.
Ah, right, Jim, you're drinking Springbank 10. I thought you meant that's what I'd been giving Stevie. Ah, good choice, definitely. And Stevie could learn a thing or two from you.
Oh, who said that?
Jim says he's drinking a Springbank 10, and I think Multi Haggis Muncher's got a Springbank Cask Strength. Pineapple and their varnish are both hints at very spirity whiskies, right? Yeah, I suppose pineapple can be quite.
On the taste, is it? I take it as from somewhere that's quite close to the coast or on the coast, because I get sort of brine seaweed.
So the distillery isn't, but probably where it's matured is, yeah.
I'm going to put a wee touch of water in it just to.
If that makes sense. So the distillery is not on the coast, but where it's matured is. What about the barrel or the cask maturation? Do you pick anything up from that? Mark's asking if I've gave you a sample of 5-star brown sauce.
I think it's Sarson's vinegar.
Sarson's vinegar.
I can tell you, it's not doing it for me.
Oh, that's a shame, because it's a shame. You have had this before, and I'm sure you've enjoyed it before.
Yeah, I think it's
depends what you've had, what you've ate, what you've drunk before.
The longer you've had whiskey in a whiskey collection, I've had this time and time again where I've had bottles where I've stuck them on a shelf and I thought I'm really disappointed with it, and then 3 or 4 years later, somebody's in your house and you're like, "What can we try that's different? You try this." So I think even in shorter periods than that, you can taste something tonight, and depending on what you had for your tea, depending on a number of things, you can have a different experience from the same whiskey.
Yeah.
On different weeks, for sure.
Well, the amount of oxygen that's in the bottle, the further it goes down the bottle, all these things can affect it, obviously. What do you get on the palate, and do you know what it's been matured in or anything like that? See, I don't get anything coastal from this.
It's quite, yeah. See, I get sort of briny. It's quite salty for me,
right?
But I don't know whether I screwed up because I had garlic bread earlier on. It's the aftertaste is a bit rubbery,
right?
And again, salty,
right? So I'd say for me on the palate, I'm getting a creamy, a little bit vanilla, not too much vanilla, but definitely creamy. I think there's more exotic fruits, maybe some more banana. I think there's passion fruit, a bit acidic, almost like, I don't know, just biting into a bit of grapefruit or something like that, a bit sour. But I think there's also, what's that?
Have you put water in it?
Yeah, I put a little bit of water in it.
Yeah, I'm just smelling it after putting water in it. And
it is a bit tart in your palate.
Now I can get the tropical fruits. You know those lollipops you used to get? They were sort of powdery, but hard and yellow on the bottom and pink on the top.
Right, yeah. Is that rhubarb and custard?
I can't remember what you call them, but when you bit them in your teeth, it was a powder. It was like solid sherbet sort of stuff.
I mean, I'd probably agree with some sort of like kind of boiled candy or boiled confectionery.
On that basis, I would say that's probably been in rum.
Right. It's not rum. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of on the palate. It's the mouth feels great. I feel like it's coating my full mouth. The finish for me, it's constant. It's going on and on. There is a bitterness there. I wouldn't say there's a saltiness. I don't think there's anything coastal about it. I just think it's lovely. I feel like it's fruity, exotic fruits. I'd say maybe, and this might throw people off, there's like a pineapple and coconut taste, and it's almost reminiscent of like a pina colada, but it's definitely not rum. There's no rum there. When I taste this, it's almost like, what is it? Is it Malibu they have? It's like a coconut rum or something like that. I like a Malibu flavour off it, like a pina colada. It's like sitting on a beach with pina colada.
Are you actually smelling your whiskey glass, or are you smelling a bowl of fruit?
It's tasting it. It's the taste, the pina colada taste.
Because all those flavours you say is what I like about Fettercairn and what has drawn me to Bladnoch.
What about age and percentage?
Well,
Jim's asking
percentage.
if what you were thinking of was refreshers, if there's something similar to refreshers. So that's the.
Yeah, it was a lollipop, but like made of the same as refreshers. When you bit into them, it was sort of
that was a lemon too with sherbet in the middle.
Yeah.
Mark thinking pina colada. I get a real pina colada. It's tropical. It reminds me of being on the beach. Coconut's definitely there. It's creamy though as well. On the finish, it's quite thick.
Now, see, we're gonna have to rewind because I've put water in it twice now, and
right.
I'm getting a totally different experience.
I'll put some more water in it.
No, but I'm experiencing what you've experienced already. But to begin with, I just didn't get it.
Right. Yeah. Maybe the ABV was masking it. So
it's definitely going to be above 50, isn't it?
Yes, definitely above 50. So I think that's what's good about like higher ABVs as well. Like what we were talking about earlier with 46 or 40% ABV. I think at least with higher ABV whiskies, you can add water to suit your palate. So it doesn't mean like a high ABV whiskey is going to be terrible. Obviously, you can add as much water as you want or take away from it. Whereas when you get a 40% ABV whiskey, you've got no choice.
Yeah, I kind of go to and fro between the two because one part of me can't be bothered messing about with a wee drop water, a wee drop more, and then by the time you're halfway down your glass, you're starting to enjoy it. So, but what I do like about cask strength is that when you find one that you drink, and you don't realize that's cask strength, because this spirit is of such good quality, then that's and I've had a few cask strengths like that, and that's when I appreciate it.
What age do you reckon it is?
Right, what have we said so far?
So you said above 50%, which is spot on. You've not guessed the maturation yet, the cask used. It's only one cask. There's no finishing. It's a kind of...
Has it been in the same cask all the time?
Yes, and I'm pretty sure this particular brand or company only mature in the same cask all the time. Like, I don't think they do any finishes. I've not seen any of their bottles or any of their bottlings, hint, hint, that have been matured in something and then finished. But I might be wrong. The majority of what I've seen has been matured in it for the full time.
Is it for down yon bit of the country where can't quite get to grips with? Is it for down Campbelltown way?
It is.
Yeah.
The whiskey itself. No, the whiskey itself's not from Campbelltown. This is a Speyside whiskey. It's a Speyside whiskey.
So why did you say Campbell?
Because it's a Campbelltown bottler.
Ah, okay.
Or, well, yeah, they were Aberdeen first and then Campbelltown. Yeah. So it's Cadenhead, if you haven't guessed. And I'm actually reviewing this next week. It is what Jim said here, and it is an independent bottler, Kresimir. So we've got a couple guesses. What's that?
Age-wise, is it?
Sorry, you're cutting out. I'm not sure if I've cut out as well.
15 years?
15? No, it's higher. You're just cutting out a little bit. I don't know if I'm the same.
Is it 15 years?
It's higher than 15. I can't see.
Is it 15 years?
It's older than 15. You're blurring in and out. I'm not sure if you've disconnected. I'm not sure if everybody else can see you or not. But for me, I can't see much. Just disconnected. I'm not sure if it's worth refreshing. Yeah, I can see. So, oh, he's disconnected. He might join back. So we've got a couple of guesses anyway. I'm guessing I'm flying solo for the time being. We've got, it's definitely Cadenhead. It is a Cadenhead whiskey. We've got Ben Rinnes from Matt. Yeah, Cadenhead there. Somebody has burned down the 5G. Yeah, probably. These nutters. So Mark's also said Cadenhead, Glen Ord or Ben Rinnes. And Kresimir said is it Glen Talkers? Or Glen, yeah, it's got to be Talkers. So Stevie is away and it's just me. So hopefully everybody wasn't just staying for Stevie. And hopefully we can get him back. I might give him a little prompt, a little text, see if he can come back. But yeah, I get a lot of exotic fruits in this one. Like I said, the pineapple and the pina colada. I kind of want to tell you what it is, but I don't want to tell you in case Stevie can hear or Stevie can see. But there have been a few guesses in the chat already. A few people have guessed it right. So you can probably figure it out from that. But I actually got this down when I was visiting Campbelltown. We went to the Cadenhead warehouse tasting, and this whiskey is from that. Oh, now I froze. What's going on? There we are, back. Yeah, so I went down to Cadenhead for my birthday. My girlfriend actually got us this treat. She took us down there, and we went to the warehouse tasting, and we tried 6 or 7 different casks, and one of them was this. And I knew I had to buy it because it was lovely, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm halfway down the bottle. There's plenty to go, and I hope I just keep loving it and loving it and loving it because it is amazing. Just wondering what's happening if he is coming back. He doesn't look like he's up to much yet. He does have a son who plays a lot of Xbox, so he might be upstairs banging out all the internet. Not banging out one, just banging out all the internet. He does a lot of gaming, so this is not what you want to happen on your first ever live stream. If someone cutting out, your guest cutting out, it does not bode well for the future. Hopefully we can get him back in. Oh, he's here. We've got him. Thank God. I'm saved. Oh man, I was sweating there. Right.
I don't know. How many viewers did we lose?
We actually gained 5.
Right. To be fair, I started off.
I just want to try something. I want to see if I can gain a couple more.
Unimpressed by this.
Unimpressed by it until you added the water.
And I guess it's true what you say. When you start to mess about with the water a wee bit, then it's a bit more. I was before you went offline. I was saying it's not one of the more popular typical space sides, is it? And as I say, in terms of, it's not along the lines of Glenfarclas or any of these people. It's a.
So I can give you a bit. So you said, I think you said before you cut out 15-year. I think you were. Did you think it was 15-year-old?
I think I said 15, but I got the feeling that it's not a common Speyside bottling in terms of its.
So 50%, you were like pretty much bang on. 53.5%. It's been matured in ex-bourbon for a full 23 years.
23.
Yeah, it's a 23-year-old. You've tried this before. I think you've had it a couple times, and you actually were there with me when I purchased it, and you were there with me when I first tried it. So
Is it Tormore?
No, haven't you got the Tormore? I'm sure you've got the Tormore and the Edrington blend.
I can't remember. They're both at my dad's at the minute and have been for a wee while.
I think you've got it.
Due to lockdown.
So, all right, it's distilled on my birth, 1995. So I'm 24-year-old. This is 23-year-old. When I bought it,
that's why it's quite nippy.
When I bought it, it was the same age as me, so I thought that was a little bit of a nod to myself, but also the flavour of it. We got this out the cask at Cadenhead. Donald poured it out and we tried it. He said it was one of his favourites, and I also found it one of my favourites of the night and had to purchase it or the day. So it's the Ben Rinnes 23-year-old, and a lot of people got this right.
Oh, somebody said Ben Rinnes.
A fair few people. So John managed to guess it in the end. So he says Diageo machination over at Black Grange. So I'm not sure how that works, John, if the whiskey's matured at Black Grange, or if Cadenhead take it and it's matured then in Campbelltown or a storage facility of their own, or if they give some money to Diageo to hold it or store it. So John guessed it in the end. Mark guessed it pretty much in the end. Matt got it. He said
What's interesting for me is that I remember the tasting now, and you're right. I chose the Tormore over this one.
Yeah. But for me, this is just an absolute winner, and I've actually ended up pouring myself a wee bit more.
Ah, okay, nice. So, something big and bold for your next one.
Yes, you are.
This is a mighty, mighty dram.
My first question is, has it got added colouring?
No.
Thanks for popping in, Jim. It was good to see you. Thanks for joining in the chat, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Cheers, man. Bye.
So, first of all, it has to be sherry. It's got to be. Second off, you gave me one that I hadn't tried and one that I had tried. So, for me, I hope it's not that one that you just brought out of the box.
Hey?
I can see what you just brought out of the box.
Did you?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I got anyway. I can see roughly where it is. But for me, it has to have been done in sherry. Or some sort of wine.
No. You're it's so sherry, it's first fill sherry, so it's big and bold.
So what I've got on this, and I've been kind of straying away from sherry a little because I feel like the flavours have been getting a little samey with sherry.
It's because your palate's getting ruined by that Campbelltown nonsense.
Yeah, that's what it is. So on the nose, I feel like I might be wrong here, but I feel like it's quite pungent. I feel like it's quite a harsh nose initially, and I wrote down above 50% ABV, but I'm now changing that, and I don't think it is above 50%. From what we've had, I reckon it's got to be about 46 to 50%. 46 to 50%.
You've gone the wrong way, my friend.
Is it higher? See, I did think it was pretty harsh on the nose.
What's unbelievable about this is it is quite harsh. See, when you put a wee touch water in it, there is just an explosion of smell, aroma, rich. It's treacle, it's raisins, it's Christmas cake. It just, a wee bit of water just, and it almost explodes at the glass for me.
All right, I'll put a bit of water in it. That's what I didn't do whilst we were tasting. So there's Willie in as well. Willie's here. And John's away to clap for the NHS, so if there's people leaving for that, we're fine. Probably shouldn't have planned it at this moment in time. And John's also said that when they do buy casks, Cadenhead, they'll leave it in situ. So this is probably matured on mainland in Blackgrange in Stirling. So it's probably never been near the coast.
Because did they not say Cadenheads, are they not building somewhere down there so that they can actually bring all their casks and mature it in their own place?
Yeah, I think they did say they were trying to build some sort of warehouse or something like that. So
this is a monster. This is a monster dram. This.
So this is above 50% then.
Oh, geez, it's at the roof of 50.
Jesus, is it that high? I didn't know you had anything that high.
Hey, so, I've got many tastes and palates, and
so on the nose, I've got like I said, the notes I've got here are Louise is just pointing. She's saying she can hear people clap. I feel like we should. I'm gonna. Woo! NHS. Woo! I feel like I could do something. She's saying she can hear people clap, and Louise works for the NHS, so
yes, she does.
Cheers to the NHS.
Looby loo.
Right. So back to more important matters.
Gingerbread. That
on the nose. I've put. I don't know if you can see this. I have put. Where is it? Possibly. See that? Possibly high ABV. It's a nice colour. So I've got here sweet candy floss, some grass but wet grass, which makes me think it's a young whiskey. It makes me think that it's not been aged for that long. I'm getting brown sugar in the nose. Yeah, I'm getting brown sugar in the nose. Like I said, candy floss, there's definitely something like a kind of, not burnt sugar, but a kind of toasted sugar or something like that. Caramelized sugar almost.
Yep.
I think it's younger than like 10-year-old.
It's not actually got an age statement on it, but it is first fill Oloroso.
So what I've got here at the top of the page as well is 2 guesses at which distillery it could be.
Okay, one of them's right.
And I have actually got above 50% ABV on my initial notes. So you kind of gave it away by showing the bottle.
Did you see that?
I saw the bottle, yeah.
Sorry, okay.
But yeah, I did write down it was either Glendronach or Glengoyne. So it's got to be obviously Glengoyne then. The palate.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. It's a Glengoyne. You probably can't really see that. It's the teapot dram. It's the teapot dram batch 5. So it's unchill filtered. It's cask strength. It's natural color.
Yeah.
And basically the story behind it is that I'll read it out to you. The daily dram formed an important part of life at Glengoyne. It was dispensed morning, lunch, and afternoon to the employees. It was consumed by most. However, those who found 3 cask strength whiskies too much would return theirs to an old copper teapot to be enjoyed by the rest. And that's what led to the idea that the teapot dram because it was all the cask strength whiskies that the people that were getting it free that worked there, pouring it into the teapot, and then everybody else would from the teapot take a dram. It's, to be honest, it's one I don't give a lot of time to. I think I've had that bottle for probably for a good three maybe more years. When I first tried it, I was blown away, and this is the remarkable thing about whiskey is I was blown away when I first tried it. Then I tried it again. When I tried it the second time, I was on my own, and I think drinking whiskey on your own should be avoided because, not avoided, but whiskey in the right company.
It should be shared, experience shared, really.
Yeah, in the right atmosphere, in the right ambience, at the right moment, whiskey can capture that moment. So I've been through 2 or 3 phases with this whiskey where, yeah, really awesome to the point where I think it was Sharon that bought me actually, to where I've tried it on my own and thought, it's not quite the same. And I think I've had a few whiskies like that where you can leave on the shelf for a while and go. But as I say, your taste changes all the time. Your part of it's to do with your mood. Part of it's to do with
what you've eaten that and things, and what's been going on can obviously affect your palate and can affect your mindset.
Yeah,
I think the first time we had this was at your dad's, and it was a different.
That's right.
It was a different batch, and I found it a lot better then. This one, I don't think this is as good as that batch, but it's hard to tell without having the two next to us. I think it's dense. There's an awesome mouthfeel. It's really coating. That's probably the cask strength. It's thick. It's meaty. I get a bit of Christmas cake, but I think that's because it's sherry and I'm just expecting that.
I get really strong gingerbread in it this time.
See, I get like rum as well, poured over the Christmas cake and lit on fire. That's what it reminds me of. It's quite a warm dram, I feel. I don't know if that makes sense. It just seems to warm up your mouth.
I need to rewind you a wee bit there, right? Because I know for sure you never had Christmas cake at your Christmas dinners at your house, and for sure you didn't pour rum at it.
What are you trying to say?
You're fake hands. Oh man, come on.
There's honeycomb on the palate as well. I'm just going to avoid that slight racism. For the finish, I get like a bitter orange. I feel like is blood orange pretty bitter or grapefruit, something like that. There's a bitterness. I don't know if blood orange is right, but there's like an orange, but it's extremely bitter. Whether it's been dried out or unripe or whatever, but there's like a kind of bitter orange. That's the way I'm going to explain it. Bitter orange. There's a lot of wood coming through, which once again makes me think it could be a little bit young. I don't know. I feel like it's. I'm unsure.
But the legs are quite long in it, so that would suggest it's not that young. And you're right, because now the aftertaste in my mouth is. I used to love the Terry's chocolate orange, the plain chocolate one.
Yeah. And
now that that's gone, it's got an extremely long finish in it because I am still just tasting. It's a mixture of gingerbread and dark chocolate orange.
Yeah, I definitely agree with orange. I'm not sure if I've got any chocolate. Mark's just saying it's brandy that you pour over our Christmas cake. It sure is. I should have said brandy instead of rum. It's not rum. It is brandy.
Yeah, but in Stuart's house it was Bacardi. So come on, not everybody's fortunate enough to have brandy.
Bart's also saying I'm a bit hesitant with this one. Is it not my cup of tea? I think that's supposed to be a bit of a pun. I preferred there was a like I said there was a batch we had at your dad's brought by a friend, and I preferred that over this. This is still nice, but I feel like I don't think it marries up well as the other one did. I feel like there's a lot going on, and I feel like it clashes a little
See,
and the wood, and I don't know what.
See, I'm the opposite. I think it's resulted in something that is, there's no doubt about it. It's bold. It tastes how it tastes. There's no floating in, floating out. Oh, it's a wee bit of this, it's a wee bit of that. I think it's resulted in a hugely flavoursome whiskey that even now, out of what we've had, that's still going on in my mouth.
What percent is it? What's the percentage on it?
59.6 or something.
See, that's the thing as well with this one. I don't think it needs too much water.
No, I put a wee touch water in it, and then there's just this magical thing happens. And it just.
Well, he's just said he likes drinking on his own, which is obviously completely fine. I think I'm just a little bit more extroverted, and yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes it depends. Like, I prefer drinking with people, but then if other people are getting on my nerves, like that way, like him, then it's better drinking on your own.
No, because then you've got to drink your own stuff.
That's true, exactly. If you're drinking on your own, you have to drink your own stuff. So Bart said he likes drinking with himself, some low music and low light. Sorry, music and low lights. Just a dram is perfect. I've never actually tried drinking whiskey with music. It's something I've never really done. I've never sat and drunk with like a couple of tunes on, a couple of songs playing. I mean, I've done
it a couple of times since I created the whiskey room, and I've done it. I used to. I would say probably up until about the last 3 years, I used to always. People used to say to me, I bet you drink a lot of whiskey," and I would say, well, actually, the number of times I drink whiskey on my own in a year, I could count on both hands.
See, I'm probably drinking whiskey, but then I'm with Louise.
That's changed. That's changed now. But for a long time, it was, for me, it was, I don't know. There's this romantic notion of being in the right company and the right atmosphere and stuff like that. Whereas I'm talking up until probably about 3 years ago, and I don't know what changed, but it's like everything. You things evolve, and quite often now I'll come home, and, well, as you know, I travel quite a lot, so I'll come home and I'll sit there, and as the adrenaline drops, I'll sit and have a couple of whiskies, and I do enjoy it in my own company, but it's not my preferred way to have it. I like.
So, what I was going to ask was, I maybe should have asked it before I revealed the whiskies. But what was your favourite from the two? I think I already know it was the Portwood, because I remember you texting me saying you preferred one sample to the other.
Yeah, I think I struggled a bit with the second one until it I adjusted it twice with water, and then because, to be honest, I was thinking you were on about tropical fruits and all that, so I was like, you're nuts. You're talking tropical fruits, I'm talking about nail varnish and rubber and salty, and that's what I was getting, to be fair, and that could be totally bollocks compared to what the bottle says, but that's what I was getting. But then there's
no notes on the bottle. There's nothing.
When I did the water the first time, I thought, okay, I get a wee bit, and then I put a bit more in.
I mean, now that you're saying that, like smelling the cork there, just sniffing the cork in the bottle, surprisingly, I actually am getting vinegar off the cork.
Mm.
Like, it's offy vinegary off the cork, but in the glass there was no. I don't know if it's because it was just opened up, but there's definitely a vinegary smell on the cork.
I actually was thinking. I thought,
I've gave you a glass of vinegar.
Well, the one thing I said to myself tonight, I'm not going to try and pretend to like taste what you're supposed to taste.
Yeah.
And I thought, as crazy as it sounds, chip shop came to mind. The salt and vinegar off the brown paper, that smell of the chips and stuff, I was getting that. The nail varnish, not that I'm into nail varnish, but that sort of smell I was getting, it was like I really was disappointed. And then you were on about all these other lovely flavors, and I was like, he's lost it. He's lost it, man. But when you added water to it, it was there, but it wasn't. I don't know whether I'm just getting lazy or not, but if it takes that much effort to get it to your taste, then I think I give up on it probably.
Whiskies, because you're not getting sold something that's been watered down or chill filtered, something removed from the whiskey that could make it taste better, or something added to the whiskey as well to make it. Or it's not even make it taste better; it's to make more money for them. They can produce more liquid. It's more suitable to people who aren't really introduced to whiskey. But then,
I'm not really sure that's why the water is added. The water is added to
but for a 21-year-old whiskey, like Bart said earlier, it's a bit of a surely the whiskey should speak for itself. Surely it doesn't need any chill filtration or any water added down to 40%.
well, it's interesting because if I'm trying to remember, we were somewhere and I was speaking to someone from Glenfiddich, and I can't remember if it was the Grand Cru or another one. It was one of the two.
Yep.
And the alcohol content was extremely low, and it was quite an expensive whiskey. And what they explained to me is if they had tried to, indeed they did try to, they didn't just get to the 40% from off the bat. They bring it down, they try it, and they bring it down and they try it. And the problem was if they had bottled it any stronger than the 40%, then it was in an ice wine cask, then the impact of the alcohol would have overpowered any flavour or any impression it was getting from the ice wine cask. So
It was the
it's a lot to do with balancing as well.
I'm sure it was a Grand Cru, the champagne one. Because I got a different story from the guy. I don't know if you spoke to the guy. It was at the Glasgow Whisky Festival, and he was the one that said to me it's aimed for the Asian market or the travel retail. It's not aimed to people like us, the whiskey geeks or whatever.
I don't give a shit. I like it.
I was like, that's the worst thing you could say to someone who could potentially be like a customer or someone who's just looking into it. But for me, out of the samples, I'd probably say, probably guess, but the Bruichladdich. I think the Bruichladdich is the winner for me, because I don't know, it was quite unique. I like the barley flavour. It sort of reminded me of like a kind of local barley, and obviously it's good. It must be their own barley grown then.
Yeah, it is. It's from they call it the Micro Provenance series or something. I was surprised by it because normally I'd be looking for a lot more flavour from it, but actually I quite like the fact that it was stripped back and it was all about the barley.
Yeah.
I like that.
Did it say what it was matured in? Was it just?
No, I was trying to have a look, but I don't.
I mean, Bart might know in the chat. He's yeah. So John's pretty much cleared it up with regards to the chill filtering. And this is what I found weird about the Balvenie. So the normal Balvenie for us is 40%, whereas the travel retail is unchill filtered at 47.6 or whatever. So they actually sell the travel retail as chill filtered. So that's basically, yeah, it turns cloudy and they think it's a bad whiskey.
Yeah, John Blythe just made So what are we going to finish with then?
Well, I've actually poured another whiskey, another Penrhynnes. I just can't get enough of this. I've got enough left, but
I got two new arrivals this week. I I got my third Bladnoch. I got a 17-year-old a 200 anniversary bottling. It's been finished in Californian red wine casks. And I got I've never had a Compass box. I have tasted them before, but I got a Compass box, the story of the Spaniard. So part aged in Spanish wine casks. So they're two new arrivals.
I'd say open the Compass box because I've been wanting to try the Spaniard for a while, and it will give me a chance to try it.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do then. Have we still got people online?
We have nine viewers, 9 people.
What we'll do is we'll crack open the Spaniard.
Because I think I've had the Spice Tree.
Yeah, I think I maybe had that.
The Spice Tree from Louise got me a Master of Malt sample. I also had an inaugural release from the Whisky Friend at Allen, and I'm pretty sure I had another one, but I'm not sure what it was. But I've definitely had 2 Compass boxes, and they were fine. I think they're a little overpriced. Obviously, you got that off the auction, so that one.
Yeah, but I didn't get any. Geez, this is where I'm a wuss and I can't get the lid off it.
I've cut myself on those foil before, and they're actually lethal. They give you a good cut, good slice in the finger. You're struggling there, Stevie. You really are. You maybe had.
I'm struggling, and it's fine, except for the fact that you guys are all watching me, and I'm.
If we weren't, there's 11 people watching you, 12 including me. There's not too many.
There we go. Right. So here we are. And I'm going to go for it. And this is my all-time favourite glass, is the wee Jacobean whiskey glass.
Every time I pour one in that, I always spill it. Anytime I try and swirl with the whiskey, it always comes out.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that in this glass, and that's because you get pissed and can't control your hand. Here we go.
So we've strayed away from the blind sampling, and we're now opening random bottles. Lovely.
But I mean, obviously I know what it is, but it arrived yesterday and I haven't read it all. But on the nose, very interesting, because I think wine finishes can be a bit of a hit or a miss. It's either resulted in a really good whiskey, or it's the other. I've never found anywhere in between where it's okay. I see what
you're saying. I mean, I see what you're saying. Some sherried whiskies even the terrible ones can be decent enough because of sherry. You got that sherry influence, but I suppose with wine it can be a hit or miss. But I've been really getting into wine finishes recently. A lot of the Tullibardens and some of the long rows, and I think wine's definitely something I want to explore more with regards to whiskey. I can't stand the stuff alone, but in regards to whiskey, I definitely want to have more wine finished or wine matured whiskies, because sherry, I feel like I'm just going off. Bourbon, I'm happy to have all day long, but sherry, it's just going down in my list.
I need to have a wee read and find out just exactly what whiskies have gone into this, because it's a blended malt.
Yeah, so the good thing about that's what I had as well actually is hedonism. I had the hedonism. I think it's grain, a grain blend possibly. So the thing about Compass boxes, what they're really good at is they actually, I'm pretty sure they tell you every single whiskey that's went into it. They tell you the percentage, and they basically tell you what's went into it. So that's quite good of them, quite transparent. So Matt said this, so maybe you should open have the Balblair instead.
The Balblair's open. In fact, the Balblair's almost it's at the bottom. There's like 2 drams left in it, I think. That's a lovely Balblair. I'll tell you what's also a fantastic Balblair is and actually John Blythe let me try it, is if you can get your hands on the 1990 Balblair, it's a fantastic dram. I think Balblair, along with Glengarioch, has went downhill for me. The stuff we were getting before, fantastic. More recently, not so much.
I think it's the same. I feel like it's the same with Mortlach. I mean, the last couple distillery releases that I've had from Mortlach haven't been amazing, but a majority of them independently bottled Mortlachs have been fine. I have heard that the new 12 and new 15 are supposed to be good, but I've not tried them yet, so I'm not sure.
The staple used to be, and you used to buy it for, I can't remember, it was about 50, 56 quid. You used to get the 16-year-old Mortlach, the Flora and Fauna bottling. And
we try this.
And I don't know how many bottles of that between my dad, my uncle, me, we went through of that, and now it's quite rare. But that was just a consistently fantastic dram.
So Matt said he loves those Balblairs, the old kind of bottlings of Balblairs, and he's ashamed that they mess with it. So I don't think Balblair is something I've really experienced. I've not had. I couldn't actually recall any Balblair that I've had. I don't even think I've had the one above you. So I couldn't actually comment on it.
I'm pretty sure you'll have had that, but I thought that was nice. But as I say, John Blythe gave me, and I'm actually going to try and get a couple of them before they're all gone. The previous age statements, but there's the 1990 that John gave me was just absolutely sublime. This blend, and you know what I'm like, Stuart. The only blends I have in my collection are, and only in the last few months, is the
Canhead Edrington.
The Edrington, the 33-year-old blend, and these wee timorous beasties.
Oh yeah,
yeah, these are what Douglas. I can't even get the. Why is that one not going that way and that one's not going right? Anyway,
I think previously blends were. I'm not sure. It's not certain, but I'm pretty sure blends were quite popular back in the days of when I probably wasn't even born, and blends were big. And then single malt came along and got bigger, and people tend to were more attracted to single malt. But I feel like it's kind of not shifting, but I feel like it's kind of almost like an equilibrium.
Remember it's two different things, because we're talking about not blended whiskey, but we're talking about blended malt.
Blended I know what you're saying. Yeah, blended
whiskey is generally sort of grain based, and then a few things added in there. Right, and
I mean, that Edrington's got grain and malt in it. I know what you're saying, yeah. And obviously, but blended malt, I just feel like there's something, maybe even just for myself, I've not really aimed for blended whiskies at all.
Douglas, no, neither did I. And I think Douglas Lang do a fantastic job. A few years ago, I bought my dad one. I got him it just out of interest. It was the Rock Oyster, and I think it was Jura, Arran, and 3 Isleys. I think there was 5 malts in it, and every drink from the glass was just like a different experience in it. And at Christmas there, my brother had he brought round a Timorous Beastie, and it was a Christmas edition, so it was quite sherried. And it was fantastic. And since then, I've got myself. Well, I think you've got me the 25 for my birthday, so I've got a Timorous Beastie 25, and last month I got the 18 at the auction. I think you have to respect the art that goes into taking 5 different or however many different flavor profiles and bringing them together to produce something that is.
So John said, single malt or blend, it's all good. No such thing as a bad whiskey. I mean,
don't agree.
I've had a few bad whiskies. or maybe whiskey dram took to my palate. But
in Campbelltown way.
And Mark's also said the Cadenhead 12-year-old blend is magical. Finished it in no time. So I'm pretty sure Mark is from Glasgow way, and magical sounds very Glaswegian to me.
I'll tell you what, this Stuart is fantastic.
Well, I'm glad I can get a dram of it.
Well, you can't because we're in isolation.
That's what I meant. Well, you can still send drams as long as I spray it down. And but I've not tried the Cadenhead 12-year-old blend. It'd be good, definitely good to try it.
If anybody would like to try it, then let me know. What I need to do, Stuart, is get a couple of those wee sort of sample bottles and some labels. That is,
you can get some sample bottles off Amazon. The labels I just make up at work. So
why do I want to buy them from Amazon when I can get them for you?
Yeah, Jimmy Jazz is saying to John that he hasn't tried White Walker at room temperature. I've still not tried White Walker, but I've heard too many bad things, and it's just something that I do not want to try.
Is that the Johnny Walker one?
Yeah, the one that you can put in the freezer, and
it's at the back of my cupboard there somewhere.
I mean, I've had a few: the Campbelltown Loch, Bowmore Black Rock, Glenlivet. I think it's Master Distillers or something like that. Or Distillers Founders, I don't know, something like that, Glenlivet. There has been a few that I've just not been able to get into.
This here is absolutely fantastic. If anybody has a chance to get a bottle, get it. As whiskey goes, it's not particularly expensive.
How much is it for a bottle RRP? Do you know the Compass Box Spaniard?
I think it's about 50. I think it's about 50 quid. I'm not so sure.
So is that the Cadenhead one you're on about, Chris? And I do like the new logo, very slick. Is that what you're on about, the 20-year-old blend? I didn't know they'd done a 20-year-old blend. And Bart's also given you some Jip, and rightly so, even though it's not a bad glass. It just
Hey, if it was good enough for Bonnie Prince Charlie, and I guess you're actually right, because he was a bit effeminate, wee French poof that he was. But what I like about it is like the spiral. Nah, it doesn't matter because I'm just going to sound even.
You're going to sound worse and worse. You're going to dig yourself in a hole. What I like about it is the spirals are spirally.
I'll put my ice glass away in a minute, but that Compass box, my first ever Compass box that I've owned, is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, there's a very controversial thing for Glenfarclas fans. I've never had Glenfarclas 10-year-old, but Mark is saying that the Glenfarclas 10 he does not enjoy. It's yuck. I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying. It's
Glenfarclas a sort of interesting one for me. I've got, where are we? I've got two. I was lucky. One is just a series of 3. I don't know if they came out for travel retail or not. It's called it's called Passion. But the other one I've got was the one they brought out for the 175th anniversary, and the oldest whiskey that's in it is from the 1950s. And
my issue with that is Glenmorangie Signet said that their oldest whiskey in the Signet was about 45-year-old, and then how much is it in that's actually in that?
I love it, but it's you got to switch off your smart head here and put your romantic head on. Right, there may not be a lot of whiskey in there for the 1950s. I mean, look at that, and it you've had this.
Oh, it's nice, yeah, but I'm saying, obviously, you can put that on the label no matter how much they've put in.
Yeah, and it's an absolutely beautiful Glenfarclas. But I think, as that last guy said, I've had some Glenfarclas where I've not enjoyed it. I'll tell you one Glenfarclas that was awesome and I only got to try it because my dad got it for his retirement, was a 30-year-old one. and it was just it was just
5-year-old goes quite well in Costco. You can get it on sale quite a lot in Costco, and it's funny. John's just said about Glenfarclas there. I actually bought a Glenfarclas, the Speyside Festival, I think it was, a distillery exclusive from John off auction, which was almost quite random. I was bidding on one in auction.
That's right. Yeah.
That actually came from John, and that's still sitting. It's hard to drink. It's so cola. Like it's almost just like cola in a glass. You're just drinking cola. There's nothing great about it. It's nice. I'm glad I gave my money to John. I'm glad it went to John. Else. Yeah, he probably is happy that I gave him some money, but it's nothing special. And Glenfarclas is one of those distilleries I want to like because it's family owned, it's family run. I don't believe they add any colour in. I don't believe they do chill filtration. It seems like a nice romantic distillery, but I've just never been able to get into it.
I think there are definitely some fantastic Glenfarclases out there. I don't know whether it's just another one of these things about whiskey where under the same name, manufactured under the same roof, produced under the same roof, that you can, in terms of quality, you can go from one end to the other. It's unbelievable, you know. But you know, before we got to single malt casks, and before that, it was all the supermarket stuff where it was all vatted and it was all together. And an 18-year-old Glenfiddich tasted the same every single time you bought it. It would be a dull world, and I certainly wouldn't have this collection if it was all based on that nonsense.
This is a good point from Willie here. He says, Big Pete still lists Port Ellen as part of the blend. So I'm not saying, obviously, like Glenfarclas, the 175th anniversary might not have it in that, but the 50-year-old whiskey or 55-year-old whiskey. But there's still obviously companies like Glenmorangie with Signet. They're obviously saying there's a 45-year-old whiskey in there, but I mean, how much is really in there? And with Big Pete,
I don't think it really does. It really matter at the end of the day. It's either a very nice drink or it's not. Yeah,
true, but I feel like at some point
I don't sit there and think, I wish there was a wee bit more of the 45-year-old in there.
No, I understand that. I completely understand that, but I still wish there was more transparency with it to say this has been added, this much has been added, because I thought Glenmorangie Signet was all right, not worth the price, overpriced, overpresentated. But if they had just said, we have put 5% of the 45-year-old in here, then you'd maybe be like, okay, that's maybe worth the price, or someone might justify the price.
I disagree. That would be like saying, well, I want Iron Brew to put the recipe for Iron Brew in a can, and then I'll decide whether I'm buying it or not.
No, but Iron Brew is £135 a bottle. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I think, and I'm not saying I'm right, so just my personal opinion is, to some extent with whiskey, you pays your money and you takes your chances.
Definitely.
Sometimes you're paying for the rarity, and the rarity doesn't necessarily mean that it's the most awesome thing you'll ever taste in your life. So sometimes the pleasure is in sitting there where you're drinking something that people have crafted 40, 50 years ago. Is it the best malt you've ever had? No. Is it amazing to be sitting here drinking something that, you know, somebody put their hard work into? I think that's the romantic side of it. So it's, for me, I don't think I would have it any other way, because otherwise, if it was any different, it would be just like vodka, Bacardi, and all these other drinks. But it's not. It's different, bottle to bottle, cask to cask, age to age. Some mature better than others. Some are better younger than others. And I think that's what just makes the world of whiskey such a much more interesting place to be. And I'm brand ambassador. I'm ambassador for nobody.
You look like you're blending into that couch. You're actually very camouflaged. So that's been.
Well, I've got my wife's glass. So.
It might have not felt like it, but we've not seen each other in a while, and we do enjoy a drink together. But that has been 1 hour and a half. and I'm not sure if that's long enough for you, but it's probably long enough for me.
We surely must have bored the tits off of some people by now.
I mean, we've still got 10 viewers. I think the lowest it dropped down to was probably 8 or probably less. But 10's pretty good. It's not the most record-breaking ever, but it's a first stream, and hopefully people have enjoyed it. Hopefully people haven't been bored.
To be honest, it's actually quite well. I've enjoyed it, so
I think that's all that matters. As long as we've enjoyed it.
If other people have enjoyed it, good and well. If people are interested in us doing it again, they only need to let us know.
Yeah, I'm happy I've seen you. I'm happy I've talked to you. I'm happy I've shared a couple of whiskies with you. It's been a good night, and I'm really grateful for the time and for the chat.
Yeah, and I think you won out of the deal because you probably got the better whiskies.
All right, well, that's your opinion, yeah. Right, well, thanks for...
Right, thanks, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you. Ciao, bye.
Bye-bye. See you in a bit. So, Stevie's finally away, and we can get down to it. No, that's just a joke. I'm going to bed. I'm going to go to sleep. This has been dramatic. It's been tense. There've been some ups. There's been some downs. He dropped out. He went missing for a while. Blurriness. People clapping outside for the NHS. It's been all over the place. But thanks again for joining in. As Stevie said, it's been good to speak to you. It's been good to do this broadcast. And hopefully we can do it again. And hopefully I can get some other guests as well. But it's easy speaking to Stevie. He's basically my father-in-law. So I've been Stuart. This has been Whisky Whims. I'll see you later.